Good morning, viewers. I am Saraswati, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Technology. Now, we discuss about the topic is keys in relational data model. Before we see that what is DBMS? DBMS is a database management system, which is a collection of database. It is nothing but a software for organizing and controlling and managing the database. The concept of key. Key is nothing but is an attribute or a set of attribute used to uniquely identify a tuples or rows in a relation. In this DPMS, we can call it as relation for the table, and then we can call it as tuple for a row. Why we go for key is to ensure uniqueness of our records, data integrity, efficient data retrieval, and it's a fundamental in the relational database design define. And what are the keys and why we are needed? By using a keys, we can avoid duplicate records to establish the relationship between tables, to maintain the data consistency, to enforce integrity constraints. It supports efficient searching and indexing in a database model to eliminate the duplicate record and integrity constraint and to establish the relationship between the table. There are many different types of keys in a database model. First one is a primary key, second one is a foreign key, and then candidate key, composite key, surrogate key, alternate key, and then super key. These are the three many different types of a key. Primary key is used uniquely identify the tables in the relation. Foreign key is used to maintain the more than one table. That is to establish the relationship between more than one table. Alternate key is one of the primary key. If you are using a primary key in one table, we can use the alternate key in another table. Composite key is a collection of keys. Candidate key is a collection of keys. Super key. The super key is a set of one or more attribute that uniquely identify a table. That is, we can contain a extra attribute, more than one attribute used to identify the relation in the table. For example, student table, student of, student ID, email, name. There are three fields in the student table: student ID, email, and name. According to that, student ID, email, and then student ID, name. For we have to get student ID is one of the key and email is one of the key and student ID and name, both of them we can call it as a super key. Super key is a collection of key. In that collection of key, we have to minimize the value of that key. That type of key is called as a candidate key. It's a minimal super key. It is not a proper subset of candidate key. It is also uniquely identify a tuple. For example, if the table can have multiple candidate key, in that previous example, student relation, student ID, email, name. Three fields in the student relation. In that example, the candidate key is a student ID and email. Only student ID is called it as a candidate key. Only email is called as a candidate key. Primary key. Primary key is a candidate key. Only one key that is chosen to uniquely identify the records in the table or relation. It must be unique value. It cannot be a null value. That is, it should be a some value. Only one primary key for table. That is only one primary key for table. Example, in that student table, student ID is a primary key and then field is a name department. Alternate key. Alternate key or candidate key. It's not selected as a primary key. It is not a primary key, but it is also a key to identify the records in the relation. For example, in that student table or student relation, student contains the three fields: student ID, email, and name. Before that, student ID is called as a primary key. In that the relation, email is also a unique value. Upon the email, you take it as a alternate key. Composite key. The composite key, it consists of a two or more attribute. The composite key consists of a two or more attribute. It is used when a single attribute cannot uniquely identify the records. Example, enrollment. Enrollment is a relation consists of a student ID, course ID, and then grade. More than one primary key. More than one primary key is called as a composite key. In that enrollment relation, student ID is called as a one type of relation. Course ID is called as a another type of ID in that course relation. The comparison of key type. There are before that we can see about many different types of key. In this table, we can explain the different type of keys used in that relation table, and then comparison of key types. Super key is it maintains uniqueness. Candidate key is also uniqueness. Primary key it maintains uniqueness value. Alternate key is maintains uniqueness value. Composite key is also here uniqueness value. It's a minimal. Super key is a more than one key. It is not a minimal key. Candidate key is only one key. That is minimal. Primary key is only one key. It's also a minimal. Alternate key is minimal. There is only one key. Composite key is also only one. It should be minimal. That is one or two. And super key is more than two. Not allowed. Null allowed. The primary key is null allowed. And the super key is also no null allowed. It is not null. It is not null. All of the keys contains a not null value. That is, it should be some value. Prototype. Key unique name, primary key. A real-time example. That employment table contains a field such as employee ID, email, project ID, and employee name. These are the many different fields in that or attributes in the relation employee table. Employee ID is a primary key. Email is also a alternate key. Employee ID and project ID is also a composite key. That is more than one key, it's a composite key. Employee ID and name is also a super key. Assessment. What is a key in the relational data model? Define super key. Key is uniquely identify the relation in the table. Super key is nothing but a more than one keys, collection of keys. Candidate key is a minimal super key. Primary key is a uniquely identify the record. Alternate key is nothing but a alternative key in that except primary key, alternative key in the table. Composite key is a collection of primary keys. Keys uniquely identify the records to maintain consistency, data integrity. Can have a more than one candidate key? Yes. Can have a primary key contains null value? No. The primary key should contain not null values. Thank you.